I've been rewatching Arcane Season 1 for the first time ever since I've watched Season 2 to see how it hits after knowing what we know, if there are any hints, foreshadowings that we missed, but most of all, if there's any changes of perspective, and indeed there are. Watching Act 1 after knowing what we know from the alternate universe in particular hits differently. Back when I first watched Act 1 and rewatched it having the context of how entire events unfolded in Season 1, I was slightly upset with Powder fully believing I am meant to be upset with her. She meddled with things she weren't supposed to. She took things she was never meant to take. She was losing it when confronted with Vi wanting her to stay behind, showing very first signs of what I believed to be her future mental problems, leading to becoming in its essence a criminal. She built bombs, which did seem as an odd activity for a child. Eventually, she followed Vi and led to a disaster, indirectly causing Vanda's death. All of this combined made me blame her, if only a little bit. I do understand she was a child. I understand she was under Vanda and Vi's care, and whatever she did was not fully her responsibility. But still, some part of me did believe that statement Milo said. Maybe she is a jinx. But was she? Upon rewatching, the very first scenes already hit differently knowing what I know from Season 2, in particular alternate universe. Suddenly, I did not see a child not obeying what she was told. I saw a possible, curious inventor browsing through another inventor's lab. Suddenly, I did not see a child building explosives, a sign of how disturbed she was to be in the future. I saw an innovator already working on potential inventions. And most of all, I didn't see a child that misbehaved. I saw a child that entered all these scenarios because she was allowed to. And this brought me back to Vi. By no means I intend to blame her. I understand essentially that we're both still kids, and no one is to blame really. At the same time, it's hard for me not to feel more intensely upon rewatching Season 1 and not think that Powder, someone who became an incredible inventor under different circumstances, someone who had immense potential, wasn't given a proper guidance at the time, which probably goes all the way back to Vi and by extension to Vanda. Vi believed she was following Vanda's footsteps, her father figure, her protector. She believed that the heist is a good idea, that she has to earn her place in the world, and she believed that was the way to do that. At the same time, she proposed a heist that was well outside of 3 teenagers' safe reach. She took a child with. She allowed for Powder to keep the raw gemstones, despite directly being told not to have anything that would connect them to the crime scene. She told Powder to stay behind upon entering Vanda's rescue mission. Seemingly correct decision, but given the state Powder was in, unbalanced, losing it, it maybe could have been a better idea to have her close by, to control her. That shift of my own perspective due to what we were told in Season 2, in particular about Powder's alternate route, surprised me. Feeling for Powder instead of being upset she did the things that she did in Act 1. Powder could have been so much more than she became, Jinx. She could have been an inventor if Vi died in the blast. She was never meant to be an unstable criminal. But it wasn't because of Vi that she didn't become who Echo believed that she was supposed to become, as some seem to suggest. It was because in case of Vi's death, she wouldn't keep the gemstones. She wouldn't have taken them. There would be no investigation as the culprit would have already died. Vanda wouldn't die. He would remain there for her, probably giving her far more attention after losing Vi, keeping Powder up to the highest standards, believing in her, motivating to become more, in a similar way as Vi was trying to. Powder said so herself. Not living up to her own potential that Vanda pointed out was something that made Powder think of Vi. Had she lived, things could have turned out differently for Powder too. If only she wouldn't keep the gemstones that tied them to the crime scene, that led to the enforcers investigate them specifically, and ultimately led to the explosion causing Vanda's death. Maybe without Vanda, Powder wouldn't flourish the same way as she did in the alternate universe. But I would like to believe owning up to some mistakes that Vi did, if given a chance to do so instead of having that chance taken away by throwing her into a limbo, still water, would actually lead her to being far more conscious in the future, far more responsible, very much enabling Powder to become who she was meant to become, skilled and talented inventor. thank you for watching. That's just some side thoughts that I had when I started rewatching season 1. I want to watch season 1 and then season 2 directly afterwards and see this as a, you know, one big thing. Rewatching season 1, it's already hitting a bit differently knowing what we know. So I'll be curious to hear what you think as well about this, and I'll be making some short videos as I go with my reflections on the subject. Sorry that I've been making less of these videos. I've been trying to fight through block of a kind. But I will see you around. Bye.